leader during these difficult times and has helped prevent the spread of this virus. I just wanted to take a moment and acknowledge our city council members who are here. We have our council president, Mario Vieira. We have council vice president, Dr. Mary Jane Selly, and councilwoman, Dr. Anita Vogt. So again, Governor, thank you for everything. Our small businesses need relief, and this rental relief program that you're about to hear about will help so many small businesses right here in Long Branch. So again, thank you, Governor Murphy, for your support, your leadership, and for choosing Long Branch as the location for this very important announcement. I also want to thank Senator Vin Gopal, always a resident and a friend of Long Branch, and I understand we have Ms. Leslie Anderson for also being at the forefront of this program. Thank you, Ms. Anderson. So now, without further ado, I just would like to welcome Governor Murphy.
Thank you. It has been determined in prior remarks that no one can understand me when I speak with my mask on, so I'm going to take that off just while I speak. But I want to encourage everybody to continue wearing a mask. I'll wait till you're set there. No problem. Good afternoon. It's a treat to be in Long Branch, one of my favorite communities. John knows that. We're here a lot as a family. And again, good afternoon. I want to thank Mayor John Pallone for welcoming us so graciously to this great community. It is a pleasure to be here any time of the year, but especially in the summer, even with a little bit of rain today. To members of council, thank you for your leadership and for having us today. I'm incredibly honored, and John mentioned a couple of folks, but I want to add to that. My partner in government, the woman to my right, I don't know where we'd be without her. She's not only the Lieutenant Governor, but she runs the Department of Community Affairs, which is extremely important in terms of why we're here today. Please help me welcome Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver. I won't steal Sheila's thunder, but Long Branch, she is no stranger to Long Branch, Sheila. Is that fair to say? You'll give us some color on that in a bit. Another person, I don't know where we'd be without him. It takes a village. You need the legislature and the executive branch to have a really good functioning relationship. We are blessed with that, and a big reason why is Long Branch's own Senator Vin Gopal. Vin, great to have you. One of my heroes who's seen it all and done it all, I think literally the case, and really sets a national model in today's program, and the announcement today is yet another data point. The president and CEO of the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority, the one and only Leslie Anderson, is in the house. She will explain, I don't want to steal her thunder, as to why she's wearing red and why there's a lot of red, Sheila, being worn today in the state of Georgia. Leslie's left a new friend, but someone who does really, really important work at another great Monmouth County institution. I'm a Monmouth County guy, I'm proud to say. Jacqueline Mejias Foretes is with us, the director of the Small Business Development Center at Brookdale Community College. So Jacqueline, great to have you with us. I'm going to come back to you in a moment if I could. If I could just ask everybody to bear with me, I'm going to take a diversion just for 2 minutes. I want to just give a quick update. John, I appreciate your gracious words on the COVID-19 war, which we're still in. I want to give a quick overnight update. The Department of Health is reporting an additional 344 positive test results today. That brings our statewide total to 177,887. The positivity rate, and this is from tests that were taken on Sunday, so this is 4 days ago. That's how long it takes to get the data, is just under 3%, 2.88%, which means the good news is over 97% of the people who were tested on Sunday tested negative for the virus. And we hope that continues to be the case, if not even better. We know, and I've mentioned this this week, we've had some reporting lags at some of our labs processing tests, and we continue to work to get updated data. However, what the current data can tell us is that social distancing, wearing that face covering, that stuff works. And it tells us that everyone should go get tested. Even though there's a lag on getting the results, our testing capacity is as good as any American state. So when in doubt, go out and get tested. Additionally, and with a very heavy heart, we are confirming another 23 lost lives due to COVID-19, which is extraordinary. 4 of those, again, these are lab confirmed. We do this, I think, as well as any state in America, but it takes longer to do it. So these are lab confirmed deaths. Of those 23, 4 of them occurred in the past 5 days. So that's really good news. The total of lost lives that are confirmed are now 13,810, with an additional 1,920 probable deaths. This morning, as they do every Thursday morning, and by the way, this is the national reality, not just in New Jersey, the Department of Labor and Workforce Development also released the latest unemployment figures. Over the past 4 months, it's hard to believe this, but 1.4 million New Jerseyans have filed claims for unemployment, John. It's extraordinary, including 26,000 over the prior week. This is a week-over-week decrease of 33%, and the second straight week in which we've seen a significant decline. That's hardly solace given the overall numbers, but that's a trend, at least that's going in the right direction. Despite the historically unprecedented volume of claims, Labor Commissioner Rob Angelo and his team continue to work tirelessly to ensure that every eligible New Jerseyan receives the full benefit they deserve and as soon as they can. And you read the stories, as do I. There are people out there that just have not been able to connect and get that first penny that they're owed. And the reasons are overwhelmingly, if not entirely at this point, unique to that individual. And there's lots of reasons why that can be the case. Let's say you live in Long Branch, but you work in New York City. There are cross-state issues that are complicated. Just give you one example. But the department, since this began, has delivered a total of $11.6 billion to eligible workers and families. That includes both federal money that we have put out as well as a big slug from the state. To date, 96% of all who have been deemed monetarily eligible have received at least one payment. And as we regularly note, as I've mentioned a minute ago, unresolved cases and delays can most often be traced to very case-specific and individualized issues. I know Commissioner Angelo and his team will continue their terrific work to deliver benefits for every eligible New Jersey worker. Okay? I think we need new tape. Could someone contact the tape department? Thank you. Okay, so thank you, John. As you can see, John, as they say in baseball, is a 5-tool athlete. He's not only the mayor, but he's able to get us back on track. I also want to acknowledge a couple of other folks. The head of our policy and the former Secretary of Higher Education, an incredibly important member of our team, is with us today, Dr. Zakiya Smith-Ellis. Zakiya, right, amen. Right behind her, one of the senior guys in our economic development team, Phil Lurera. And where would we be without the Lieutenant Governor's Chief of Staff who makes the show go? Terry Tucker's in the house. Terry. So Jacqueline, back to you for a second. We know that the past 4 months have been just as stressful as for the businesses that Jacqueline and her team work with as they have for the thousands upon thousands of other small business owners across our state. And thank you, Jacqueline, for everything you do. For them, we have taken unprecedented action, offering tens of millions of dollars in direct grants and loans to small businesses across New Jersey to help them bridge the void that COVID-19 has created. They have been able to meet overhead costs, keep employees on payrolls, pay vendors, and have a little extra peace of mind that their business would survive. We have many more plans on the horizon that we will be unveiling, amounting to hundreds of millions of dollars in direct economic assistance to help move New Jersey's struggling residents and businesses along the path to recovery. And today is just another one of those steps. Today, for the thousands of small businesses in 64 communities covered by the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority, we are announcing the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority's new $6 million Small Business Lease Emergency Assistance Grant Program. It's paid for through Federal CARES Act funding. This is part of the broader Main Street Commercial Corridors Relief Program that will provide small businesses in Redevelopment Authority covered municipalities with up to $10,000 in direct help to pay their rent. By the way, that helps obviously the businesses, but it helps the property owners as well. Many of them, in fact, are small businesses themselves, and it helps all of the above weather this challenging time. We know the small businesses in these 64 communities have special challenges. These are historic urban centers and towns which have worked hard to re-energize and redefine themselves. Look right here in Long Branch. They are areas where entrepreneurs have put it all on the line to chase a dream, and where property owners have invested their time and money in the vitality of these communities. For many of the businesses, this program will reach out to and support. The New Jersey Redevelopment Authority, under Leslie's extraordinary leadership, was one of the first investors to believe in their neighborhoods and communities. It's easy to look out here, as I mentioned, in Long Branch, or just up the road in Asbury Park, Vin, or Neptune, and forget that not too many years ago, these streets were empty and they were overlooked. The fact that they are now rather bustling corridors is because of the partnership that was forged between municipalities like Long Branch and the state through agencies like the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority. And we are not a state that forgets where we came from, which ignores the struggles that many small business owners had to be taken seriously, or which forgets their sacrifice during a time of crisis. And that time is now. I've mentioned this, by the way, before. COVID-19 has upended our economy in a way that only has occurred twice in our state's history. And if you're in this company, you know how bad it is. The Great Depression in the 20s and 30s, and the Civil War. We will not let COVID-19 take us down. We're fighting every day to protect public health, and we are fighting just as hard to secure our long-term economic health, and we will win this fight. But we cannot get to where we need to be and where we know we will be without the women and men who own and operate the small businesses that make a municipality a community and turn a street to a gathering place for that community. I am incredibly proud of the step that we're taking today, and I look forward to coming back, John, to Long Branch, to you and your colleagues in the months ahead, and to seeing the open signs still hanging from the shop windows and knowing that together we made it through. Thank you all so very much for having us today, John, beginning with you and members of council. It is now my honor to introduce my partner in government, a champion for our urban communities up and down the state, the Lieutenant Governor, and as I mentioned, the Commissioner of the Department of Community Affairs, the one and only Sheila Oliver.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you.
I'm going to go this way just so I know.
Okay. Thank you, Governor Murphy, for bringing the issue of assisting small businesses to the forefront of the discussion today. I'm pleased to be joined by the dynamic President and CEO of the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority, Leslie Anderson, Senator Gov.Phil, and to you, John Pallone. I am totally in love with your brother. Please give him my regards.
We just made news.
Give him my regards. And to members of the Municipal Council and the greater Long Branch community. The governor made reference of a tie to Long Branch. And as I look around this room, particularly at the photographs of nostalgia, I'm a baby boomer, so some of you can compute, what that means in terms of my age and era, or you can go on Wikipedia and find out. But when I was growing up, every summer I would come to Long Branch. My best friend's grandfather lived here, and we would take the train from Newark Penn Station. We'd get off like right in the middle of the town with our suitcase, and we'd go to her grandfather's house. And those are some of the fondest memories that I have of Long Branch, together with another week I would do before Labor Day in a big Victorian on Ocean Ave. And when I think about Long Branch, I can personally attest to the fact that I have seen the evolution of this community, and it is beautiful. Anywhere I visit, I always want to move there, and I told Terry, my chief of staff, Long Branch is looking kind of good, Terry. So, Mayor, I might be a constituent in the future. Yeah. So, it is by leadership and actions of those here today that we are going to help define our state's recovery from this crisis. It is our collective creativity, our vision and persistence that is going to get us through this whole crisis. We are here for local businesses, as the governor made reference to, and we appreciate everything that Jacqueline has done and her team at Brookdale Community College, and everything that they have invested in trying to help businesses here, particularly in Long Branch, weather the storm. So, we know that it has not been easy for small businesses as they struggle to make payroll, to pay rent, to pay their employees, and to make a profit in these unprecedented times. The fact that we had to balance out our economics and our health. The governor, early on indicated that public health and good public health equals economic health. And that is the trajectory that we have been on as the state government. The crisis has impacted the state in so many different ways, but we are especially concerned with what this crisis is doing to our local economies. We need our local economies to rebound from this crisis and come out of the other side strong. But we can only expect that result by directing programs and funding towards solving the individual problems that are holding local businesses back. We are not negating and are fully recognizing that our state's workforce, many of our workforce residents are employed by the hospitality and the leisure sector of the New Jersey economy. The Small Business Lease Emergency Grant Assistance Program is directed and geared toward helping keep mom and pop shops afloat in this time of need, especially in our most vulnerable communities in New Jersey, which, as the governor mentioned, are the ones that the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority has always helped to serve. Main streets are where we come together with our neighbors to eat, shop, play, and worship. The establishments that serve people on our main streets and in our business centers are central to the economic health of our communities. They are also the lifeblood of our communities, and it helps define their character. A walk around Long Branch will show you that very clearly. Empty storefronts on our main streets and business corridors are a challenge that we have always worked to tackle through programs at the state and specifically within the Department of Community Affairs. The NJRA lease grants are a part of this greater mission that we have, and they will be a catalyst for small businesses to restart and jumpstart their regular operations. Each grant may mean one less empty storefront and one more small business that can continue to thrive in these challenging economic times. And these lease grants will work in tandem with other existing Main Street-focused programs that the state offers to help small businesses thrive. For instance, within the Department of Community Affairs, we have an office that is dedicated to providing local planning services. This team works with communities to achieve local land use and planning goals and provides technical assistance to municipalities at no cost. They also offer what is known as the Downtown Business Improvement Zone Loan Fund, which is a 0% loan program intended to provide support to purchase, lease, condemn, or acquire land for physical improvements, rehabilitation, and redevelopment in improvement districts. And Long Branch is an improvement district. The local planning office is also working with the National Main Street Center on developing a new application for designated Main Street New Jersey districts, webinars for new and existing districts, as well as developing a new work plan that will in the future help these districts withstand a pandemic. But hopefully we will not have to experience this kind of devastation again. Recently, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority expanded its micro business loan program to assist New Jersey small businesses, many of which are facing business interruption as a result of COVID. The expanded program at EDA is providing financing up to $50,000 for micro businesses and nonprofits who have 10 or fewer employees and whose annual revenue is no more than $1.5 million. These programs are specifically directed toward reviving our local economies and helping our small businesses thrive throughout this crisis and beyond. I want to thank Governor Murphy for his continued support of the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority, for pulling this program together, and I hope that eligible businesses in our communities, particularly in Long Branch, will take advantage of these opportunities that we are creating. Governor Murphy and I remain committed to supporting New Jersey's small business community, and we will do everything in our power to help them come out of this crisis stronger. I want to let you know that we are combining forces, the Redevelopment Authority, the New Jersey Housing Mortgage Finance Agency, EDA, Choose New Jersey. We're working in tandem to leverage every available resource we have to bring back our small businesses in the state. And with that, I would now like to turn it over to Senator Vin Gopal, another young man who I met many years ago, and I am so proud of him and all he has accomplished. Senator Gopal.
Thank you very much, Lieutenant Governor. I remember then Speaker Oliver and our early conversations on the beautiful city of Long Branch, and I think you had the same thoughts 10 years ago about wanting to move to Long Branch. It's good you didn't tell anyone in your district at that time. I want to thank the governor for his leadership, but this is also a testament to Mayor Pallone and his council. The governor could have picked any of the 64 towns, but the fact that we're doing this here in the city of Long Branch is a true testament to you, Mayor, and your council, so thank you for all you're doing. Also, to your advance team, it is clearly raining, so we would be very wet right now. To turn that around in 20 minutes with, I see the business administrator, George Jackson, in the back, so thank you to your team, Mayor, also for turning this around in about a half an hour. I also want to give a shout out to Mr. Sirianni and the Long Branch Chamber of Commerce. They do an extraordinary job here in the city of Long Branch. Our small businesses, we've seen across the country, rents continue to rise. This program is so important, and hopefully it's the start of something more, because as I have friends, as I'm sure many of you have, who call from all over the country, who's telling me they wish that their states took some of the steps that New Jersey took early on. The fact that we are in a much better shape than Florida and Georgia and all this is a testament to the leadership of the governor and his team. But now it's time for the next step, which is how do we get our small business back up and running. And rents continue to rise, and this program is extremely important. So thank you to Ms. Anderson. Thank you to everybody, Lieutenant Governor Oliver. And I'm so excited to hopefully make sure that we can keep a lot of these small businesses up and running in the days ahead. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Vin. Thank you, Vin, and I echo your very important point that, and Sheila made it as well, public health creates economic health. We know that. We're living it. Please God, we don't have to live through this hell again, but we know that's the order. And in each case, it's a crisis unlike any we've ever had before. And on the economic health side, it is hit in particular our small businesses, and Sheila mentioned them, in particular restaurants, hospitality, have been literally tomahawked by this, just crushed. And I want to give a huge shout out. Long Branch is no exception. I've had several Meals John since we allowed outdoor dining. I think outdoor dining is being done incredibly well around the state, including right here. So hats off to you. She is an institution, and she is. We wouldn't be here today without her. And Leslie and Sheila and I were swapping anecdotes about Long Branch, and this is another of the 64 districts. Another reason why we're here is that it's not like Leslie just found out how to get to Long Branch. She's made a difference in this community for years, if not decades. So please help me welcome one of my heroes in this state, the President and CEO of the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority, the one and only Leslie Anderson.
Hello, everyone. I want to start by thanking the governor and the lieutenant governor. Leadership is lonely and it's difficult. And over the past 4 months, you've made some very tough decisions. I watched the briefings. People are not happy with you, but you've made decisions that are in the best interest of everyone that lives in the state of New Jersey. This allows me to just very briefly tell you why I'm wearing red today. I'm so happy that I'm a straight up Jersey girl. I'm wearing red in solidarity with my sorority sisters in Delta Sigma Theta sorority. Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms is a member of our sorority. And if you're following the news, she's being told to shut up. By executive order, the governor wants her to be quiet. Well, you have definitely poked that red and white bear, and as we speak, the members of Delta Sigma Theta across the world are standing in solidarity with Mayor Lance Bottoms, and she will not be told to be quiet, and she will continue to work in the best interest. And following the leadership of our leadership here in New Jersey, we know that public health represents and leads to economic health. So that's why I'm in red today. I also want to thank the senator and the mayor. The highest form of leadership is public service. I have been in government my entire career. Most people don't realize the sacrifices that you make along with the members of the council to make a great quality of life in cities like Long Branch. So thank you for your leadership and your sacrifice to step forward. Real quick about the Redevelopment Authority. We work in the state's most economically challenged communities. We go where most people don't want to go. When I first started in Long Branch, it was pre-Pier Village. Those of you that lived here know what it looked like there. Most people can only remember what it looks like now, but it was a challenge, right? It was a challenge to attract private investment into the community, and we were there first. We used our resources to pick up some critically needed parcels so the developer could begin the project. So that's what we do, and that's who we are. What we've been able to do in our over 20-year existence is to commit $418 million, but the Lieutenant Governor talked about it earlier. What we did was leverage that with other state and other private resources to leverage it to $3.8 billion. And that's the type of investment we've seen around the state. And we balance investment with impact. We don't just build a house, we build a home. We don't just open a business, but we create employment opportunities in cities where people normally don't see that. So we are there first, creating an impact. This unprecedented pandemic, I think I am a baby boomer, Lieutenant Governor, but I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime. That stopped the economy, that put us home so that we could be safe. The number of positive cases, the number of deaths is challenging. But at the same time, we have to work with our small businesses. And our small businesses are the lifeblood of our economy. We have to know and understand that without them, our economy will not rebound. So as we look and we move through the phases of reopening, it's important for small businesses in cities like Long Branch, Asbury Park, Neptune Township, and Neptune City are able to continue to provide the products, services, and the jobs. So let's talk a little bit about the program. We already know that there's a $10,000 amount for a grant. Now, I have to say at the NJRA, we like loans because we like to get our money back, right? And then we re-lend it out in other places. But unprecedented times call for unprecedented responses. This is a grant. There will be no obligation on the part of the small business to repay it. And let's talk about small businesses. They're in commercial space, in mixed-use building. I saw a lot of that as I drove in today. You have residential on the top level. You have businesses on the street level. They're eligible. The standalone, that is that storefront. I saw a lot of that today. They're eligible, and we're also going to make it eligible for small businesses that are leasing space in commercial buildings. They cannot exceed 5,000 square feet. And the reason for that is we truly want to open this to small businesses. The Lieutenant Governor and the Governor mentioned all the programs we've done so far. This is targeted, and it's going to drill down to those small businesses that need that level of support. We're going to do this application entirely online. We're going to follow what the governor wants. We're not going to come back into the office. We're not going to risk the spread of the virus, but everything will be online. And there's a critical date. We're giving ourselves some time to get the word out to the community. We learned from our partner, EDA, that we need to get out on the street. We need to get into these communities. We will be hosting webinars. We will be doing virtual sessions. We'll be doing mailings so that the business community will be fully aware, and we're going to open the application on August 10th. That is when they will be available, and it is our hope that in between today, the official announcement, and August 10th, we will flood the community with information about how to get to this program. We're going to partner with existing organizations. I've already spoke to the Small Business Development Center. I want to talk to the Chamber of Commerce on how we can partner with you to get the information to your membership. We don't need to own the process. We need to get the information out to the community. So we want to be flexible, and we want to work with you to get that information out. If you want to know more about our program, I know you're waiting for that long state website, right? Are you ready for it? It's Njra.us. Just meet us there. I hope my staff is watching. They're going to make it live right after this is over. Just go to Njra.us. I am excited about this program. I am excited to keep businesses open. It's critical. We do not quite understand yet the impact on small businesses in urban areas. They are going to be devastated as this pandemic ends, and the more open for business signs we can keep in storefronts, the better that we're going to be. So, Governor, I want to thank you for your leadership. And lastly, I absolutely want to thank my staff. I'm not going to tell you how many people I work with every day because you would be shocked. But I want to thank my staff for their due diligence and their hard work in getting this program up and running. And I'm going to congratulate them now because I know we're going to be successful in implementing the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leslie. I said Leslie was an institution. You don't get a website like that unless you're an institution, by the way. Mahan, can I ask you a favor? Could we tomorrow at our press conference get that website flashed up and make sure folks know about it? This is a real game changer, Leslie. I can't thank you enough to you and your team. And as I say, it isn't just you landed here today for the first time. You know, you were the one that convened the stakeholders early before Pure Village became a reality with the developers, the elected officials, the community voices, and that wasn't easy. So, one of many extraordinary chapters. I mentioned her earlier as the director of the Small Business Center at Brookdale Community College. Brookdale is a gem in our county, as you all know that, and the Small Business Center is a gem within a gem, and it's a real honor to have her with us today. So please help me welcome and bring up Jacqueline Mejias Ferretes. How'd I do?
You did good.
I got a B-.
My name kills everyone. That's okay. Thank you, Governor Murphy, Lieutenant Governor Oliver, Mayor Pallone, and I do want to take a moment to really thank Mayor Pallone, because thanks to a partnership that he worked with the New Jersey Small Business Development Center, Brookdale Community College, Creative Labs, which is a true public-private partnership, we were able to create the first innovative accelerator program here in Long Branch, which graduated its first cohort last week. Not even the pandemic stopped us. And I have to say, this allowed 10 residents from Long Branch to achieve the American dream. And I thank you for engaging with us and listening to us and partnering with us in such a program. Also to Leslie Anderson from NJRA, loving your program already. All the dignitaries here today, especially Senator Vingle Powell for being such a strong community partner, as well as enacting the District 11 Economic Recovery Advisory Council, and allowing me the honor to chair the Small Business Committee. This committee works on challenges, coming up with solutions, and making recommendations. I'm a strong advocate for the small business community within Monmouth and Ocean counties and the New Jersey small business community at large. As the regional director of the New Jersey Small Business Development Center at Brookdale Community College, I am pleased to share that my team and I have assisted over 1,200 small businesses during the pandemic, helping them to obtain approximately $2.8 million in funding. I want you to understand that's only my center. In the state of New Jersey, the New Jersey Small Business Development Center is actually a network of 11 other centers strategically located throughout the state, covering all 21 counties. And you can find them in all higher ed institutions, such as Brookdale Community College. For example, I want you to take the case of one of our clients, We Care Adult Care, a senior adult care center who has improved the quality of life for seniors of Monmouth County for the past 20 years. Due to the state of COVID-19 guidelines, they were immediately forced to temporarily lay off all but one employee. With the assistance of the NJSBDC at Brookdale Community College, they were able to apply to both federal and state funding programs. Once approved, they were able to bring back their entire staff. However, they had to pivot their services. And now, with their funding exhausted, initiatives such as the NJRA Main Street Commercial Corridors Relief Program can help businesses stay in business beyond 2020. And this is just one, literally, of thousands of small businesses helped by my team at NJSBDC at Brookdale Community College, as well as my colleagues throughout the state at the NJSBDC network. I am incredibly proud to be included today as the NJRA Main Street Commercial Corridors Release Program is being announced. It is a beautiful example how both the state and the federal funding programs are giving small businesses desperately the lifeline that they need. And this will not only keep their businesses afloat, but help keep their businesses alive. In the words of Tracy Wolfman, the owner of We Care Adult Care, and I quote, "We are fighting for survival and eager to stay strong." With that, I would like to conclude with, once again, thanking Governor Murphy, Lieutenant Governor Oliver, again, Mayor Pallone, Leslie, absolutely, especially Senator Vin, who takes our calls no matter what, and we give him a lot of calls. So in supporting the small businesses, which making it a priority during this difficult time. So thank you.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you, Jacqueline, and again, thanks for everything you do for the small business community. People ask me all the time, we're desperate for federal cash, and people ask me all the time, like, give us an example of what you'd do if you got more federal cash. We'd do exactly more of what we're doing today. Would do more, in addition to a whole range of other stuff, we would plow an enormous amount of focus into our small business community. And we just have to, again, I plead again with the leadership in Congress on both sides of the aisle that we get to the place where states get the direct cash relief that we all need. Blue, red, all different stripes of states, that we can do more of exactly what we're doing today. So with that, we'll take a couple of questions. As you probably know, I'm with the press almost every day of my life, so we're going to keep them real short today. Please.
But just one then. What's your reaction to the presence of federal agents in Portland? And have you received any information, anecdotal or not, that they may be coming through New Jersey?
I've received no information whatsoever about that as it relates to New Jersey. And I do believe strongly that mayors and governors exist and have the authority that they have for reasons that are many. It begins with public safety, and so that I think really unequivocally should be the call of the officials in Oregon. So hopefully that gets resolved sooner than later. And it's their job to ask for relief out of the bullpen, not for the bullpen to arrive on the mound while they've got other strategies in place. Sir.
There was a party in Middlesex County, this is Channel 2, had tested positive. Your reaction to that development?
I think it was in Monmouth County, wasn't it?
It was in Middletown.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It was in Middletown, which is the community I live in. I actually was on the phone earlier today with Mayor Tony Perry, who's a good friend, and he was going through exactly, in his estimation, what happened. I was going to mention this tomorrow, Mahan, but with your blessing, I'll mention a snippet of the conversation I had with Tony. The good news is it does not appear anyone's in the hospital. The range of ages, as I understand it, were all teens, sort of mid-teens to upper teens. And that as far as Tony's health department is concerned, as far as they know, rather, they're all self-quarantining. So that's the good news. The more challenging news, and this is not the first time Sheila and I have heard this, but it was, and again, I'm not putting anyone on the spot, but I think it's worth repeating this. The contact tracing, I don't know that Tony used this phrase, but I believe he did, has hit somewhat of a brick wall. And I want to use this opportunity for your asking the question. I was going to mention this tomorrow, but I'll say it today. We don't condone illegal behavior. So I'm not wild about 15-year-olds or whatever's drinking alcohol on the one hand, okay? So please don't break the law, period. But on the other hand, this isn't a witch hunt. We don't condone that, but this is a public health pursuit that the Contact Tracing Corps is after. Tony reminded me that contact tracers have existed at the local level in Monmouth County, Vin, and in Middletown for decades. They've just been following up on other matters. It's only in the past 4 months that they're following up on COVID-19. So I would just use the opportunity of your question. I'm glad you asked it. I'll probably do this again tomorrow because Mahan and I actually are going to find out the exact questions that the Middletown local health authorities are asking of these families, because it will be proof that it's not a witch hunt. So again, we don't condone illegal behavior, but on the other hand, these folks are trying to do good and trying to contain a public health crisis unlike any that we've ever had before. So I'd ask folks, please cooperate with those contact tracers. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Anybody else? We good? Sir, just in your capacity as president, I don't normally call on non-members of the press, but I have to show you some homage.
I appreciate it. I'm the executive director of the Long Branch Chamber of Commerce, and here's 2 items.
I promoted you to president, so I hope you'll take that.
That's okay. You'll hit me later. In regards to all the grants that are coming out, I'm on one of the subcommittees with New Jersey Chamber, 501c6. Not a commitment. I'm not looking for a commitment or put you on the spot, but please think 501c6 counts, which chambers are. Okay. We are shielded from them. If you'd be kind enough to include Chamber of Commerce 501c6 organizations.
You want to come on up, Leslie, or just? If you're not putting me on the spot, you're the only one of the 9 million folks right now in the state that aren't. I just want to acknowledge that.
So we hear you loud and clear, and I want to look like a hero right now.
You're my hero.
But it's already there. So within the guidelines, I didn't want to go into detail, but it's in the guidelines. We're covering the IRS certification of any 501c. So if you're a 7, a 6, a 1300, I'm kidding. But we're going to cover you. So so you're still considered to us a small business, as an organization, as a chamber, because without you, the businesses don't get the support they need. So we heard that before we wrote the guidelines. So we're on point.
You know what? Leslie's going to, even though it was already decided, she's going to give you credit for it. Last one, Brett, please.
Real quick, I have two quick ones, and then
related to the Mets or not?
Sports. No.
Okay.
Two are from the sports department. So, how did you pick the 64 municipalities? What about the other 500?
That's a list that's long existed, Leslie, in the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority, right? So that's not, we didn't come up with a new list for this. Yep.
Woodbridge's superintendent said the remote learning option for schools upends reopening plans. Do you expect more parents to opt their kids out of school, and is there a chance this causes you to go to all remote, at least at first? Then I have two, you want to answer?
Yeah, give them all to me and I'll...
Then New Mexico's governor this week called for both the University of New Mexico and New Mexico State to suspend fall sports at their schools. Could you see yourself doing that with Rutgers and other schools here? And how would you evaluate the job Greg Schiano has done at Rutgers so far, even just recruiting or rebuilding?
Oh, I love the last one. That's a good one to end with. So I forgot the first one, though.
Woodbridge.
Woodbridge. No, before. Was it Woodbridge?
Well, I asked about the grant.
Yeah, okay, got it. So listen, no, we're gonna have more Mahan tomorrow on what remote learning we think can look like, and I don't think it upends it at all, and I don't think it necessarily leads to one conclusion or another. The Department of Education, and Zakiya has been intimately involved in this and is chairing meetings literally morning, noon, and night. The Department of Education with input from the Department of Health, and I might add higher ed for the universities and colleges, put forward the broad parameters. We're asking each district to come up with their own plans. And we felt, and I know Zakiya felt, I felt strongly, so did Sheila, that folks needed to know if remote learning was an option, what it needed to look like. And so that's what we're going to give folks guidance on tomorrow. I don't see the eventuality at this point, Brent, on sports. That doesn't mean that couldn't happen, though. And I would guess that would probably come from conferences more likely than it would come from yours truly. If we slipped back, as Sheila alluded to, if we slip back and we have to go through hell again, which we're doing everything we can to avoid that, all bets are off and we reconsider it. But for instance, Rutgers is part of the Big Ten. My guess is that's a decision that would come from a conference. Zakiya, unless you see that otherwise. I want to go back just before I answer your favorite question at the end. It's just another reminder on this house party. Congregating indoors in close proximity is a bad idea. So for folks who are maybe watching this on a stream or on television, we're all, other than me at the moment because I'm answering these questions, we're all masked up. We're all socially distant, and in the back, if you're not, you're definitely masked up. And we only did this inside because of Mother Nature. John's hope was we would be outdoors and would be in the Main Street Market and would be right in the thick of it. But congregating, even if you're a young person and you're healthy and you may be asymptomatic and you think you're invincible, you can't congregate closely indoors. It's a bad combination of inside, lack of ventilation, close proximity, sedentary, and by the way, if you're not wearing a face covering, it could be literally the kiss of death. I hope, please God, it isn't. I've said this before, Brent. I think Greg Schiano's done an incredible job. I'm not on the inside, but his recruiting class that he pulled together overnight almost for this year's season, assuming God willing there is one, and then if that weren't enough, the group that he's brought together for next year is, top 20, if not better, in the nation. And he, by my account, is doing an extraordinary job, and obviously under extraordinarily challenging circumstances. I don't think he gets to the promised land overnight, but he's committed to winning a national title. I mean, that's the way he talks, and that's the way he's acting. So we wish him nothing but the very best, and he's been a great leader for Sheila and me, by the way, outside of his, I won't make news of this, but we work with him on a number of fronts that extend well beyond his title as head football coach at Rutgers, and I just want to give him a big community shout out as well. So with that, Sheila, as always, it's an honor to be with you, my partner in government. Don't know where we'd be without you. Vin, likewise, thank you for your leadership. We're in your backyard here, so thank you for hosting. Mayor John Pallone, members of council, Mr. President, and members, thank you for everything you do. Please give your brother a shout out. Leslie, thank you again. An institution and a hero, and more to come. And I promise you, we will throw the website, all kidding aside, up tomorrow and speak briefly to this to make sure we cover as much of an audience as possible. And Jacqueline, I'd love to come by and see you when we get back to visiting places again. I'd love to come by and see you at Brookdale. Thanks to each and every one of you. God bless you all. Sheila, see you.